We have breaking news out of Vancouver. They have themselves a new president of hockey operations, and it's Jim Rutherford. We're going to discuss this hire and who will become the GM. All that coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some breaking news from the Vancouver Canucks organization. Their search for a president and a general manager has narrowed down. They've made a significant hire here, bringing in longtime NHL executive Jim Rutherford as president of hockey operations. Of course, right now, the NHL is convening in Florida for their Board of Governor meetings, and Francesco Aquilini confirmed this to reporters from Sportsdom and TSN who are down in the area covering those meetings, that indeed he's been hired as the team president. Of course, we know that Rutherford is somebody who's been rumored to wanting to get back in the game ever since he's resigned from his post with the Pittsburgh Penguins as GM back a while ago now, probably in the last year or so. It was an abrupt resignation. It was believed to be, I guess, a conflict of team direction or a trade that they wanted to do between he and ownership. They weren't really seeing eye to eye on what moves to make. It's kind of what was believed out there. So he ended up leaving his post, resigning, and it didn't take very long to say that he wanted back in. There was talk that he could retire and have a break, and he had I think there was even rumor of a health concern. I'm not sure if that was true or not. Either way, it's been rumored for some time of him getting back in, but more than likely as a president rather than a general manager. Now, of course, we already have our head coach, Bruce Boudreau, who is now 2-0 in his brief time behind the bench with the Canucks. The Canucks do look like a different team on the ice. They've certainly played better. They're doing some different things with the PK. They've had some offensive players playing on the PK, which has looked pretty good. Brock Besser's scoring some goals. Pettersson, on the other hand, they still need to get him going. He still doesn't look anything like his normal self, so I'm not sure what's up with Petey, but that's the big thing that they need to fix in Vancouver. But Rutherford, as we know, is not afraid to be an aggressive GM, to make bold moves, to get the team in the hunt for the playoffs and try to contend for a cup. I mean, he's won 3 Stanley Cups. It was different franchises in different decades. Of course, he was the GM for the Carolina Hurricanes back in the early 2000s, and of course helped the Penguins to their back-to-back Stanley Cup championships as well in 2016 and 2017. So he certainly knows what he's doing for sure. Certainly somebody you would kind of link and classify with that NHL old boys club that we hear about a lot. And I know there's a lot of people who would like to see some new people, some fresh blood get chances to run NHL teams or be head coaches. And I certainly agree and echo that sentiment as well. But I will say this about Rutherford. He's certainly, he knows what he's doing. Like I said, he's adapted a lot over the years and how the game has changed. He's probably going to have to do that yet again here with a new team. The game hasn't changed a whole lot, maybe a little bit since he's been out. And we'll see where this goes. There is some history between he and Bruce Boudreau. They both played for the Maple Leafs organization back in their early playing days in the late 70s, early 80s. So certainly from some familiarity on that front. As far as who the GM is going to be, well, right now Rutherford's not only president, he's also the interim GM. So obviously Stan Smeel is no longer interim GM. He'll go back to his previous role. And right now Rutherford will occupy both posts, but where he's given an interim tag as general manager, it's believed that he's not going to stay in that role long term, that he'll be part of kind of recruiting and hiring that next person to work with him as well. There is some speculation that they may be eventually kind of getting the Sedins ready for that role. I don't know if that's going to be now, where they could be co-GMs with Rutherford as the mentor, so to speak, or if it'll be more of a case of them kind of taking on a bigger role as assistant GMs, and maybe the GM, whoever they bring in, maybe will be the expectation that they eventually take over in a few years. I'm not really sure exactly. We do know that it's very likely that the Sedins will take on a bigger role. What exactly that capacity is and whether or not they will be the GM is difficult to say. So we'll have to wait and see. We don't have full clarity on that. For right now, they may not rush into that, but at least they have one significant piece of the puzzle in place. Obviously, things kind of materialized quickly here with Rutherford. He had been a name that had been out there recently in the last few days, but some thought maybe he wouldn't be, end up landing that role. He might not be the best fit there, but obviously Aquilini felt differently, and I guess we'll see. To me, I think it could be good. Has a lot of potential, but we'll have to see who he's working with and what kind of direction they want to take this team in. Only time will tell. I mean, at this point, the way the team is playing better under Bruce Boudreau, not to stand here and defend Jim Benning because I'm not going to, but if the coach and the change behind the bench makes the team better, doesn't that kind of make it look like maybe the GM wasn't as bad as we thought he was, or as that we made him out to be? I mean, I'll take full credit here that I certainly criticized Jim Benning for a lot of the moves. I did like some of them, but not all of them, and obviously I do feel he was to blame for a poorly constructed roster, but was the roster as poor as we thought? I guess time will tell. We only have a small sample size of 2 games, and we'll see what Bruce Boudreau can muster up here for Magic and get this team playing much better and consistently, hopefully, like the way it has the past couple of games. Defensively, they've been much better, and they need that to continue moving forward if they're going to put on a streak here and have any shot at climbing back into the playoff race. So let me know your thoughts on Rutherford being hired as team president and interim general manager in Vancouver, and we'll discuss further in the comments. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, rumors, and analysis on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.